Hello, friends. Welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. Today's video is on the Junior School Certificate Examination, also known as the Basic Education Certificate Examination, English Past Questions and Answers. Our focus in today's lesson will be on 2020 questions, 26 to 40 of them, I mean from question number 26 to question number 40, we are going to solve these questions in today's lesson. And in solving these questions, I will be explaining a number of grammatical principles that you need to know, which will help you to answer questions correctly in this part of the exam. Now, I advise you to have your past question compilation guide. So if you are with the same past question compilation guide for junior Y candidates, then turn to page 2 of 2020. All right, 2020 page 2. And then the second column is where you will find the questions we are going to solve in today's video. Now, as I earlier mentioned, the objective questions in this exam are made up of comprehension, summary, vocabulary development, antonyms, synonyms, collocation, sentence interpretation, phonetic symbols, rhymes, and literary terms. Of course, there are other, other grammatical principles that we shall be looking at, but we have just given you at a glance the various segments of the objective test questions, all right? We have already looked at comprehension questions, so today we are going ahead to look at questions on collocation, on collective nouns, on adjectives, word order, and so on and so forth. Now let's look at the instruction. Choose from the alternatives lettered A to D, one which correctly fills the blank spaces in the questions below. Question 26. The carriage was drawn by a dash of 6 white horses. A, flock. B, team. C, gang. D, herd. H-E-R-D. Now, this question is testing your knowledge of collective nouns. A collective noun is a word referring to a collection of things or persons taken as a whole. All right. For example, you have a family. The word family is a collective noun referring to all the people in a particular household. All right. You can talk about a choir of singers. If you have a group of people singing in a church, that is a choir. All right. That is also a collective noun. Now, there are collective nouns that refer to animals. And when horses are mentioned, the common word that comes to mind is herd, H-E-R-D. But in this particular question, the answer is not herd because these are not just a group of horses, but they are also a group of horses that are used for a particular transportation system. Now, a carriage is a transportation system where you have a carriage being pulled or drawn by 2 or more horses. And so the group of horses drawing or pulling a carriage are known as a team. not as a herd. A herd of horses may refer to just, horses that, are together, a large herd of horses. That's a different thing, but these horses are the ones pulling a carriage, and the appropriate name is a team. So that's actually correct. I know many people will go for herd, and even the authors of this compilation guide picked the word herd, H-E-R-D. Sadly, I have to disagree with their choice, because it is very clear that when you have a group of horses pulling a carriage, you refer to them as a team of horses, T-E-A-M, and not as a herd of horses. Now, number 27. There was a large congress of Dash at the ECOWAS summit in Abuja. A, participants. B, members. C, delegates. D, visitors. Now, here you will see that when we have a summit, then you have delegates from different countries. All right. So the appropriate word is delegates. All right. You talk of participants when you talk of a competition. Members of maybe members of a particular, let's say when you talk of an organization or an association holding a meeting, then you talk about members, all right? Then you talk of visitors in other situations. But when you are talking about a summit, the appropriate word is delegates. Now, number 28, Mr. James would visit all his Dash houses next week. A, sons in-laws. B, sons with apostrophe S after sons. In-law. C, son-in-laws. D, son-in-laws, in-lawses. Well, the appropriate answer is A. And how do you arrive at this? This is pluralization of collective nouns, pluralization of collective nouns. In other words, when you form the plurals of collective nouns, compound collective nouns. Now, when you talk about son-in-law, and you want to pluralize, when you talk about son-in-law, and you want to pluralize it, all right? Son-in-law, all right? Now, here you are talking about one son-in-law. If you are talking of two or more, then how do you say son-in-laws? No, you say sons-in-law. All right. Then, if you want to indicate possession, you'd indicate possession at the end of it. Sons-in-laws. All right. So this is the way it is formed. So that is why you find that option A is correct. Mr. James would visit all his sons-in-law's houses. Sons-in-law's houses. First, you have more than one son-in-law, so it is sons-in-law. And then you indicate ownership by putting apostrophe and S, all right? Question number 29, I will visit Ayodeji dash are in the same class. A, he and me, no, this is not correct because me is the possessive pronoun and cannot be used as a subject in the subjective position. And he is subjective, it is correct here. So he and I, not he and me. Him and I is not correct because you cannot say him is. If you remove I, you cannot use he. Him is. The same way, if you remove and me, you can. If you remove he and me, you cannot say me is or me am. No, you can only say I am in the same class with him. So option C, him and me, you cannot say him is or me is. You cannot say him and me are because him and me are the objective form and cannot be used in the subject position. You will find lessons I have delivered on pronouns if you browse through the channel, all right? So the correct option is D, and that is he and I are in the same class. He and I are in the same class. All right. So that's the appropriate option. Now, question number 30. Now we are through with 29. The boy was sorry and begged his mother dash him. A, for forgiving him, no. B, to forgive him, yes. And begged his mother to forgive him. That's the correct option. That she forgave him, no. This is not correct. D, if she would forgive him, no. The simple acceptable option is to forgive him. The boy was sorry and begged his mother to forgive him. All right? Now we move on to question 31. The teacher sent for you and banker, but neither of you dash in. A is would have been correct if the first verb were in the present tense, but here this is past. And here we are dealing with sequence of tenses where you have two clauses in a sentence, and the first clause contains the past tense of the verb, then the second one should also contain the past tense of the verb. But there are exceptions to the rules. If you check, through this channel, you will find a video I uploaded on sequence of tenses that will teach you this grammatical principle, and you will know how to apply them. Option C, where. Where is not correct because the word neither suggests singular. When you say neither or either, it must take a singular verb. So we eliminate where. C, was, and that is correct. Neither of you was in. D is incorrect. That is are is incorrect because are is the plural verb and it cannot actually agree with the singular subject. Again, you can look for a video I uploaded on, rules of concord. I've uploaded a video in which I discuss 25 rules of concord in English, and you will find the rules that govern, what we call grammatical concord, which is agreement between parts of a sentence in English. Question number 32. All of them but Ahmed dash absent from the last meeting. Now you need to understand the meaning of this. When you have all of, followed by a plural subject, all of them, that is the actual subject here, all of them. This but Ahmed means that only Ahmed is not included in what is being said here. All of them were absent from the meeting except Ahmed. Ahmed was present. But then who are you really talking about? All of them. So that determines the choice of the verb. The verb must agree with all of them. The verb is not to agree with Ahmed. If the verb were to agree with Ahmed, it would have been a singular subject. It would have been a singular verb. But here we are specifically referring to all of them. If we remove Ahmed, then what we have is all of them were absent from the meeting. So, but Ahmed is an afterthought, all right? The real interpretation of the sentence is all of them were absent from the meeting. However, Ahmed was present. So that's the correct interpretation. So the verb here must refer to all of them. And when we look at option A, you cannot say all of them was, you cannot say all of them is, and you cannot also say all of them are, because we are referring to a meeting. The last meeting was obviously a past event, so it must have a past tense, and that is what makes the acceptable choice. All of them but Ahmed were absent from the meeting. Now, question 33. The boy dashed that letter, but he had no time. A should have written, this is incorrect, all right, because there's no English expression like that. Should had. Whenever you have a modal verb coming before a main verb in a verbal phrase, then the verb that follows the modal verb must be in the present form. So should have, all right, would have, could have. It's not correct to say should had, no. B should be writing, no. That is also not correct, But he had no time means it's referring to the past time. And when something is in the past, it's done and dusted. So we cannot say he should be writing, because we are not referring to a present continuous activity. We are referring to a past event. He had no time, which means it's something you should have done in the past, but he didn't do it because he had no time. C should write, no. D should have written, yes. Should have written. It's a done and dusted event, something that ought to have been completed. And that's why we use the perfect tense, should have written, all right? 34, he slipped and fell into the gutter. A, soon fell, no. B, almost fell, yes. C, already fell, no. D, often fell, no. Now, almost fell into the gutter is the appropriate option here. Question 35. Our heroes fought for the liberation of our country. Hastily, no. B, strongly, no. C, accidentally, no. D, dauntlessly. Here we are dealing with collocation. When you are talking of fight, all right, fighting for liberation, and these people are called heroes. Heroes are essentially people who are very courageous, people who are fearless, and the word dauntlessly means fearlessly or courageously or gallantly, all right? So that is exactly the appropriate option here. Now we are going to number 36, question number 36. Mother bought bag from the store, A, an old brown leather bag. B, a leather old brown bag. C, a brown leather old bag. D, an old leather brown. Well, here, before I show you the right option, I want to take you to an explanation I have penciled down on the grammatical principle known as the adjectives word order. Already I have a video uploaded on the adjectives word order. You can find it if you browse through my channel, you will find a detailed explanation. Now, adjectives word order, sometimes you may want to use more than one adjective to describe a noun. You cannot just put the adjective wherever you want. Always remember there is a proper way of arranging them in order. Let's assume you want to describe a car that is new and is also green. Will you say a new green car or a green new car? Now, let me pause for a moment and have you thinking, what would you have said? A new green car or a green new car? Confusing, right? That's why you need to master the order of adjectives. Now, a new green car is correct. And from this example, we can see that there is a particular order in which adjectives are to be arranged in a sentence. A green new car doesn't sound correct naturally, because when we are putting green, green is an adjective of color and new is an adjective of age, and in the proper order of adjectives, age comes before color. I will explain this to you. So let's look at the exact order of adjectives before a noun in a sentence. The order is as follows. What comes first is determiner, followed by ordinator, followed by opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. All right, for example, about 10 beautiful, small, new, round, brown Chinese metal frying pans. Now, I want you to memorize this acronym, do succumb, do succumb. D-O-O-S-A-S-C-O-M-P. All right? D stands for determiner, O stands for ordinator, another O stands for opinion, S stands for shape, A stands for age, another S here stands for size, C here, of course, stands for color, O stands for origin, M for material, and P for purpose. Now let's take them. Now you can see about is determiner here. 10 is ordinator. Beautiful is opinion. These are types of adjectives. So beautiful is an adjective of opinion. If you say a girl is beautiful, that's your own opinion, beautiful. Now, small is shape, new is age, all right? Round is shape, brown is color, all right? And Chinese, of course, is origin here. Metal is material, you know, the stuff something is made of. Frying is purpose. You know, what do we use that pan for? It's a frying pan, all right? So this is the order in which adjectives are arranged in a sentence, okay? So that's the way we reorder adjectives. So let's now head back to our question number what? 36. All right. Mother bought dash bag from the store. An old brown leather bag. This is correct because here an is determiner. Old is age. Brown is color. All right, and if you look at now, let me show you the order of adjectives. Yeah, this is the acronym I told you about. Do, as, come. D stands for determiner. O stands for opinion. No, O stands for ordinator. Ordinator. This second O stands for opinion. S here stands for shape. A stands for age. Another S here stands for size. All right. And then C stands for color. And O stands for origin, M for material, and P for purpose. So here, an is determiner, and that should come first in the order of adjectives. Old is age. And when we talk of age, where does it come? It comes, it comes before size, and size comes before color. So what follows here is color. So we have age coming before color here, and we have determiner coming before age here. So that is why this is absolutely correct. All right. And then leather is material. Leather is material. And of course, leather comes, leather comes before purpose. All right. So I want you to understand that. This has come. So again, here you can see we have said that this is correct. And is a determiner. Old is an adjective of age, either old or young. Brown is an adjective of color. So we have seen that determiner comes first. So this is correct. Where does age come here? This is ordinator, origin, shape, then age. So age comes after determiner. So after determiner, we have age. So this is correct. This is size. This is color. So color comes after age. Of course, after age, then after size, you have color. So it is correct here that we have determiner, age, and color. So that is why this option is correct. When you have a leather old brown, this is not correct because even though determiner occupies the first position, leather is correct, is occupying a wrong position, and so on. So a brown leather old, incorrect. An old leather brown, incorrect. So I hope you understand the principle now. Now, question number 37. Mr. Amodu's house is a dash building. A, 3 high stories. No. Again, we have to look at how these adjectives are ordered here. Now, something has to be understood here, because when you talk of a 3-story building, normally one could put the 3-story like this. Well, Let me take it a little bit back. You can see this is the way it is written. When you are talking about a 3-story building, this is the way it is put. Of course, in American English, they write it as story, the normal story, all right, or stories, if they are referring to plurals. This is the American version, but we are using British English, so you use this STOREY, right? 3 stories. But one correction we need to make here is that if you are using 3-story as a modifier, then you hyphenate it, you put a hyphen before putting story, and it's not going to be stories, it's going to be 3-story building, all right? So there is a kind of typo even in these options, but I hope you understand the correct thing whenever you are asked for what is correct. So Mr. Modu's house is a 3-story building. This is the option B is correct, but it's not 3 stories, it's 3-story building, all right? Now 3 stories high, no. High stories 3, no. These are all options you ought to eliminate. Again, remember how to use the elimination method. Using the elimination method means you look for those other options or alternatives in the options that are really illogical. You just look at them and you find them illogical. They are incorrect, obviously incorrect. So you eliminate them, all right? Now, question number 38, food and drinks are essential dash life. Now, this is collocation, and it is also how prepositions are used together with adjectives. You know, using prepositions with adjectives, certain adjectives collocate with certain prepositions. When you talk of essential, what follows is to. When something is essential to something, all right? So option A is in, you cannot say essential in life. This is incorrect. Essential to, which is B, is quite correct, all right? So B is correct. Essential to, essential with is wrong. Essential of is wrong. Essential in is wrong, okay? Question number 39. Tunji must avail himself dash the opportunity. Now, again, here we are looking at using adverbs with prepositions. Certain verbs collocate with certain prepositions, just as certain adjectives collocate with certain prepositions. When you look at the word avail, you avail yourself of. So the word avail collocates with of, of. So we look at the options. A is correct. Tunji must avail himself of the opportunity. Option B, avail yourself with is incorrect. Avail himself upon is incorrect. Avail himself to is incorrect. Now, question number 40. Malam Shehu is generous, dash he is poor. A, although is likely. Now let's eliminate the other series and then we confirm that A is correct. Now B, Malam Shehu is generous, besides he is poor. No, this is ungrammatical. C, Malam Shehu is generous because he is poor. This may grammatically or structurally, you may argue it is correct in word order, but it is semantically incorrect. And, you know, according to Noam Chomsky, a notable American grammatical theorist, a sentence cannot be considered to be grammatically correct if it is semantically incorrect. Semantics is the study of meaning. If a sentence is meaningless, then it is grammatically incorrect. So to that extent, because it's wrong. Now, is it logical? If Malam Shehu is poor, if he's generous, can we say he's generous because he's poor? Who is expected to be generous? Is it a poor man or a rich man? A rich man has abundance, so he's expected to be generous. So it is incorrect to say that Malam Shehu is generous just because he's poor. No, it doesn't make sense. Again, D, Malam Shehu is generous since he is poor is also incorrect. So that leaves us with option A, and it is semantically and grammatically correct. How do we know? Malam Shehu is generous, although he is poor. So you can see the word although is an adverbial of concession. An adverbial of what? Concession. Now let me give you the word concession. Concession means, there are two ideas that are opposite, but somehow they can relate. All right, so that is what an adverbial of concession does. For example, Malam Shehu is generous, and being generous obviously is expected to be a rich person, Now we see that he is poor, so it seems to be a sort of putting two opposite things together. The word generous and the word poor are not closely related, because we know people who are rich to be generous, all right? But there is a moral principle being emphasized here. The little Malam Shehu has, out of it, he gives to other people who are needy, which means he shares the little he has with people, which actually makes him a unique, generous man. Malam Shehu is generous, although he is poor. It is not common to find people who are poor and generous at the same time. So for Malam Shehu to be generous and yet poor, he is unique. And so we use the word although. It's an exceptional case. Malam Shehu is generous, although he is poor. All right? So this is where we are going to draw the curtain in today's lesson. I hope you learned all the lessons, all the grammatical principles and techniques that are required for answering questions in English objective section of any English exam. Our focus today has been on the Junior WAEC exam, but these principles are applicable to every other English exam. All right, English is English, whether at the junior school level or at the senior school level or even at the university level. English is a living subject, and the same principle can be applied at any level, all right? So what you have learned today is something that is really very important, something you will need for life as a user of the English language. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like the video and share it with your friends and relations. If you have not subscribed to the channel, this is the appropriate time to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be instantly notified. If you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being part of today's episode. and for giving your support to this channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you